She was perfect, and I wanted to be Barbie. I wanted to, grow up and be Barbie.
And so she did, in a way. When she was 16, Tanya set out to become a fashion model. With its posh fashion houses and trendy restaurants, this town is filled with glamour and excess at every turn. It's a dream world for the average teenage girl. But for Tanya, it was here in Beverly Hills where her life became anything but average. Tanya signed a contract with one of Beverly Hills' most prominent modeling agents and became an instant star. She quickly outgrew California and graced magazines and runways in Paris, Tokyo, and Milan. But life as a top model was nothing like what she expected.
There were men that preyed on the young girls that were modeling. There was a lot of drugs involved, a lot of drugs offered. There were a lot of girls had eating disorders. There was a lot of people that, were not taking care of themselves. There were just the money, the pursuit of money, the greed that was involved. It was a brutal business. There is a very dark side to the modeling industry.
Tanya experienced the dark side during her months overseas. The pressures of looking perfect and competing for jobs with other models was more than Tanya could handle. So she relied on alcohol and cocaine to relieve her pain.
I was beginning at that point to start feeling really empty and really questioning a lot of things in my life. And so it was kind of relief not to feel anything.
Tanya lived it up. She would spend all night partying, drinking, and eating rich foods. Over time, Tanya gained weight. The kiss of death in the modeling industry.
My agent told me, "You look tired, you look puffy," and so I would start dieting because I didn't want to be sent home. I wanted to be a model, and I was willing to do whatever it took to be a model, and if that meant dieting, I dieted.
Tanya's dieting turned into bulimia. At 5 feet 7 inches, she weighed 108 pounds. The pressure to stay thin was more than Tanya could bear.
I thought, what is wrong with me? Because I'm doing what I thought I wanted to do. I'm modeling. I am dating millionaires. I am hanging out backstage at rock concerts. I'm dancing with royalty. I'm doing everything that I thought would make me happy, and I didn't feel happy.
Tanya decided to fly home to say goodbye to her family, then end her life.
All the people that had invested so much of their hopes in me, that I was going to be this model, that I was a failure, and so I decided I couldn't do anything right, so I would just kill myself, that I would end my life.
Did you feel like you had any self-worth outside of your appearance and your image?
No. I had left school at 16. My whole worth in life was based on the way I looked, and I couldn't look perfect, and so I felt absolutely worthless.
Then, just as planned, 18-year-old Tanya went home to California. A friend invited her to a rock concert, a Christian concert at a church.
And after the music, this pastor got up and spoke, and he quoted John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life." And then he told what I needed to do to accept the Lord. And I just couldn't believe it. And he looked out and he said, "Are you out there and you feel empty?" And I thought my friend had called and told him I was coming because I felt empty. And finally someone had the answers. This person had the answers for my emptiness. And he gave an altar call that night and I ran forward.
Tanya had another major decision to make. Would she continue modeling?
At that point, I hated it. I hated everything about it. I hated people touching me and doing my hair and my makeup. I had a lot of anger and bitterness towards it. I just wanted away from it. And so I walked away. When I accepted the Lord, I completely walked away from the modeling business.
Walked away and began to see herself through God's eyes.
I think first we have to look at ourselves and say, "Thank you, God, for this incredible body that you've given me." Because we have incredible bodies and we really don't value them. We pick them apart, we see what we perceive as flaws, and we just tear ourselves to pieces instead of being thankful for this gift of these bodies that we've been given.
These days, Tanya shares that very message with women all across the country. A self-certified Barbieologist, Tanya talks about the dangers of idolizing Barbie and has raised her own children to appreciate their bodies just the way they are.
I had grown up in Barbie's shadow, and I didn't want my children to grow up looking to Barbie and magazine covers and the TV as their definition of beauty. I realized that if I had kept going the way that I was going, I would have killed myself. I had every intention of killing myself. And now I have a family, I have grandkids, and my life is so full. And I am so thankful that I do have such an abundant life in Him.